Клинтонвилл, Висконсин, дорогие друзья. Can you tell something about these machines?
Like these, FWD started here in Wisconsin, in Clintonville, in 1910. They incorporated, and in 1963 they bought out Seagrave Fire Apparatus in Columbus, Ohio, and they merged the two companies. And they started building. They had FWD trucks, and then Seagrave trucks.
Seagrave?
Seagrave, yeah. And they build a lot of trucks still. The factory is just down the street. They're still in business. They build Seagrave trucks for New York, Philadelphia, a lot of major cities. They build big aerial trucks. But these are examples of different models of FWD trucks. That's a 1952, 1971, 1959, different eras. They also built plow trucks for plowing the highways up here with the big snow, the winter.
Snow? Okay.
And these had big, massive plows, which we don't keep them on inside here because they're just too big. And they're different.
You just don't keep them inside, okay.
Yeah, because they just take up too much room. This is a prototype semi. It was put together by Peterbilt. And in 1992, they were experimenting with building propane-powered semi-tractors. Well, then they realized that in order to do that, you'd have to have a propane filling station at every truck stop in America, so they abandoned the project. One of our board members bought this at an auction a few years ago, and it's the only one made. It was made to go to trade shows and everything.
Let's see first 4x4 vehicle in the world.
Yep, the very first one.
Okay.
They built them for. And go ahead.
This one looks like auto car,
Yeah,
but
this
it's
is,
not
This
auto.
is an Oshkosh truck. Oshkosh actually started here in Clintonville. One of the inventors and forefathers of FWD started another truck company, and he moved it to the city of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and renamed it Oshkosh Truck.
That's all fire trucks.
Yeah. Seagrave was just a fire truck company. FWD bought them to get the patterns and the patents for the trucks.
Oh, wow. That's pretty amazing.
This is a 1936 FWD that belonged to this community.
Clintonville.
Yep. And that's four-wheel drive. They could go through anything. I mean, they were amazing. These are the Model B trucks, these Army ones. And these are the ones they built 24,000 of those for many countries during World War I. And the plan was always to go back to building cars, but after World War I, the truck business was so lucrative, they just kept building trucks, never went back. So they only built about 12 cars, and all the other ones are gone except for the very first one, which is what we have. This one on the right is the Chicago Fire Department. It's called a TDA, or a tractor drawn aerial. You have to steer them from the back and the front because they're so long.
Somebody sitting over.
Somebody sits back there and steers, and somebody steers.
Is there a power steering on the back?
Nope, just a big old steering wheel. Yeah, I've driven that. It's fun to drive, but it takes a little getting used to. This one here we take out at Christmas time. We have Santa riding on there, and we drive through the communities. And we have a guy steering on the back. There's nothing but a steering wheel back there. No brakes, no nothing else. And then the driver up front drives the truck.
How do you brake the vehicle?
The driver up front does all the braking. All you're doing with the back end here is just steering the back end, following them around the corners.
They're using this concept in modern fire trucks.
Oh yeah, yep. They still build a lot of these big aerials for New York and Philadelphia, a lot of cities. The Apollo was one of their real famous trucks. When 9/11 happened in New York and the Twin Towers went down, they lost 80 fire trucks. And the factory here in town built 80 new replacement trucks for them in a year. Furnished the trucks. New York Fire Department is one of their biggest customers.
That's the first four-wheel drive vehicle in the world.
The very first in the world. And
1909.
it still runs and drives. We just don't take it out. About once a year we start it and we drive it around the parking lot. But we don't take it out on the road anymore because it's one of a kind.
Everything is original.
Yep, everything's original. Originally it had a steam engine, a little steam motor, but it didn't have enough power. So then they took the steam motor out and they put a Continental gas engine in there. And that's what's in there.
Air, gas?
Gasoline. Regular
gasoline.
It's a 4-cylinder made by Continental.
That's pretty amazing, sir. Yes. Okay. U.S. Air Force.
There's a picture of one hauling a missile over here, a big, large picture if you want to see it. With a warhead, with a Matador missile, and it had a rocket booster on the underside. You can't see it from here, but they could launch that missile from the trailer. And it had a range of, I think it was 1,500 miles, if I remember correctly. World War II.
Okay. And what kind of missile it carries?
It carried either a mace or one was called a mace, or the other was called a Matador. And it had nuclear capability. They never used them. They also used
and they can start from or just carry?
Right from the trailer, they could launch them from.
Launch from the trailer.
Yep.
Where is Cape Kennedy?
In Florida, Cape Canaveral.
Canaveral.
Yeah.
Okay.
They called it Cape Kennedy for a number of years, and then they went back to Cape Canaveral.
All right, that's pretty awesome.